Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're in Oldham, Greater Manchester, and we're going to be exploring today not one but two tunnels. Now normally when you associate disused railway tunnels, you're more likely to think about the 1950s, the 1960s, the 1970s. However, these tunnels, which one behind me here are known as the Werneth tunnel, only recently closed back in 2009. We've also got another tunnel which I'm going to venture towards, so I'm smack bang between the two. So in today's video I'm going to give you the history behind what these tunnels were, why they were opened and how they are today. In today's video we'll be following the Green Line, exploring a section of the track bed of the old Oldham Loop line between the site of Werneth Station via two tunnels towards Oldham Mumps. The Oldham branch being an early railway of the Manchester and Leeds Railway Company. The company opened its Middleton Junction and Oldham branch from its main line on the 31st of March 1842. It was the first railway branch to reach Oldham, and it was on a severe incline towards Werneth at the west side of the town. Now originally the branch connecting Middleton and Oldham Werneth was a length of 2 miles, the Werneth incline at 1 mile, 1,383 yards long. Now at the time it made it one of Britain's steepest railways with a grading of 1 in 27. In today's video we'll be focusing mainly on the two tunnels known as the Werneth Tunnel, just east of the Werneth Station, and the Central Tunnel, just west of the Central Station. So here we are into the Werneth Tunnel, a length of 471 yards. Now just back there is the site of some sort of industrial estate, so I can't really get a glimpse at the portal. I'll just see what I can see from here. Well, the portal, I can't really move further back to see, but nice stonework there. Now you can see the tunnel is in a perfectly straight line, and there's still a lot of ballast down on the ground. Now from what I've seen, there's plenty of refuges in here. We've got one just here on the left. Not sure what these concrete blocks are here. We do have a little bit of metal work just on the inside. Got another refuge just on the right here at a lower level. And it looks like you had down here what was some kind of drainage channel, I believe. Looks fairly modern. I'm not sure if this was put in after the line had closed. It is interesting to note this line only closed in 2009 and actually did reopen in 2012, but obviously bypassing this route as part of the new Metrolink. Got another refuge. I think the refuges are numbered actually. Got number 2 there. Now there are no air shafts needed for this tunnel. See the stone base at the bottom, and looks like what's red brick in the top of the arch. Now it's strange to normally associate a disused tunnel that closed in like the 60s, 70s or even in the 50s, and steam trains that would have gone through. However, these tunnels are actually used by the more recent diesel trains as well. So obviously it would have been used by steam trains in the past. See the sort of the top, but more recent times would have been used by, you know, like maybe class 158s and other diesels that are about these days. I've got another refuge on the right just here. Got some sort of wall bracket. I'm not sure what this thing was here. Got another wall bracket just on the outside of the arch here. Very rusted there. And along the top here, going through a majority of the length of the tunnel, you've got these plastic, they look like plastic cable ties. So I think cables may have run through these at one point. They actually run from the start of the portal. If I head back here, Got two metal brackets at the top here. I wonder if they carried some sort of signage for something. They look more recent, however these look a lot more old school. Looks like here it could get damp. It is fairly dry at this section, but you can see here that it does get damp. See by all the dry calcite there. And you've got here number 6 now. I'm not sure if that means the 6th refuge or if it's a chain marker. Please leave a comment. I'll look at the arches on the outside of this. 4 bricks on the arch there, thick, and on the outside at the bottom. Don't think that's anything railway related. It looks like an old wire. Now I don't know if you can just make out, there's a little bit of a sag in the wall here. Now it does change into brick once again at the base, and you can see the stonework at the top is just starting to erode a little bit. You can see how the water's revealing the old engineering brick. It looks like you've got a mixture of red and blue brick. There's the stonework at the bottom. Now I've found what looks like some a railway relic there. Looks like it was a piece of the where they used to fasten the track down. And then just to the left, something a little bit irrelevant, we found a football. Starts to get a lot drier towards this section. You see where the stonework reappears at the base. More of those cable ties at the bottom. And then again at the top here you've got those old plastic, whatever they were. And again you can see more water ingress. Just revealing the old brickwork at the top there. As we head to the eastern end. Looks like we've had some sort of patchwork, and I wonder if that writing there is kind of reference to where they needed to do some repair work. Unsure of when it was, but I believe that was repair work there. Same on the right there. Just on the other side you can see the change of the brick. Slight damp section on the right here. We are getting closer to that eastern end. Again, it goes back to brick. A little bit of chipped out work there. Like we had a potential drainage channel running under here. Well, there's all sorts of piping and all sorts of rubble being thrown in there. Can't open it to see what's in. And we've got a couple more refuges just as we head out to the left. One here. It's marked down as refuge 26. There are quite a few in here. Decent condition, that one. Look at the brickwork. And this is the eastern portal. See a little bit of repair work by the looks of it at the bottom. And that's the full 471 yards. looking back towards the other end. And then the tunnel did head out into a cut-in going on towards the central tunnel. And there's a look at the magnificent portal. This is the eastern end. Look at the stone arch. Nice wide tunnel portal that leads into this short cut-in. Now I've got to navigate through this vegetation. Now this is why we've left the railways alone, because this time of the year this is where all the vegetation grows, so we can't really see much. Obviously this video is more based on the tunnels, so what I'll do now is I'll navigate through all this vegetation in towards the central tunnel, which is slightly shorter. Now like I say, you're not going to see much with all this green stuff from Mother Nature. However, it has there's plenty of walkway. I wonder if this here was a ballast bin. Just make it out behind all this veg. And there was a signal post that was around here somewhere, marked on the map. See the looking back towards the Werneth tunnel. It's like you did have something that was here that was built out of stone. Now, marked on the maps, there were two buildings that were posted that they were showing here. Now these, you can see remains of an old red brick building. Now I'm not sure what it was. Don't think it would have been a signal box, because that would have been marked on the maps as one. But you can see probably a potential plate layers hut or something was around here. Now we're at the western portal of what was known as Central Tunnel. So this one was actually shorter, not by much, 449 yards I believe, and it does actually curve. You can see it's actually dark inside, you can't see the other end like you can of the other one, but here you can see it's a similar design, obviously the same design. Look at that. Now there is access in. So let's head to our next tunnel and see what we'll come across. See, it's clearly dark because it does go on a curve as it headed towards the Central and Clegg Street station. So let's go in and see what the condition of this tunnel is like. Now I found a few relics, so let's go in. Now the eastern end, see the eastern portal, that's nicely built out of stone, and then you can see where it connects in with the brick line, similar to the Werneth tunnel, or Werneth tunnel. Sorry if I am pronouncing this wrong. And again, like you saw in the other one, you got those plastic, I believe, like I say, cable carriers that went along the line of the tunnel. And look how eerie it is in there. You can see the dark as it heads off into the curve. But before we do go in, we have come across an old shopping trolley. People have been in here recently. We have found a fish plate that's on the ground. Well, it's a snapped off fish plate. Well, the first refuge in here, like I say, pretty similar design. It's quite wet, but I'm not sure what this thing is here. I'm not sure if this was some kind of communicator or if it carried cabling. It's made out of plastic and it looks like it was a lot more recent. Or was it a voltage box? Please do leave a comment. See a little bit of damaged stonework at the bottom here where the water ingress has got the better of the tunnel. So there's our view of where we're about to head. You can see the curve just as it heads northeast. See the stone base at the bottom? Got a refuge on the right just up there. And again we've got what I believe was some sort of drainage channel, I think, that goes all the way down the line of the tunnel, and I bet it would have gone out through the cutting, which I never got to see because of the vegetation. Coming across railway relics, you found a bolt pin just down on the ground here, rusted bolt pin. Now, there's a bit of a change there, where you can see brick and stone, so these, don't know if that's modern repair or original brickwork, but it looks to me like it was modern repairs, because here you can see there's a lot more water here. I'm not sure if this purple pipe here is a gas pipe. We've also got here a sleeping bag, so I wonder if, and also a glove, so I wonder if an homeless person's been not paying any rent and staying in this tunnel. Why not? Rent free. And look at that. That's the curve. Very eerie in here. I mean, there's no one around. See some change in the brick here. Looks like it was actually red brick, but the water ingress has got the better of it. Some more of those cable carriers. I guess the cables would have ran across the top. Now if they weren't, please do let me know in the comments, but you can see here we've got some damaged work here. See all the ingress has got the better of it and it's collapsed a little. Ooh, it's getting a little bit cooler as well as we head further to the centre of the tunnel. It's a good looking refuge. You can see there's a slight curve going back towards the eastern, also the western end, sorry. Got some sort of railway relic here. Definitely all rusty. I'm not sure if that was a track fastener or something. Now if we just spin the GoPro around, you can see, if I just take you to the middle, how it curves again. Another refuge. You can see this soot, probably from the older steam trains before the diesel trains start to operate. Like I said, pretty much the two tunnels are the same, and I'm not sure what these are referenced to. RS 12399. See some nice clearer stonework. And check out the difference in the refuge, but you can see a lot of soot build up there. There is a missing stone just on the inside, and you can just see as we're heading towards, you can just see the light coming from the eastern portal. And that's looking at another refuge. And that's looking at how far we've come in. So we're about centre into the tunnel. Certainly a lot drier in this section, but you can see here we've got that patchwork that you saw in the other one. Again, I'm not sure if this is the original part of the tunnel or if this is all repair work. Another good condition refuge. Got a wheel there, I'm not sure what that's from. Looks like a pushchair wheel actually. Is that part of an old railway sleeper? Now I wonder if these concrete pallets were to cover up the drainage whilst the line was in operation. God, looks like we've got some diluted brick. I'm not going to stand there because honestly this stuff can get really messy. Someone has stepped in there, you can see footprints. I mean, why would someone stand in there? But you've got refuge 17. I'm not sure what those reference numbers are. There's a number 13 up there and up there as well, but that's refuge number 17, so I'm not sure what those references are, 13 and 13. There's a diluted brick. Obviously that's caused by water ingress. Now I wonder if there is actually a drainage system under there. Look at that there. Water's coming from somewhere. Not far off the northeastern end. I mean, these two tunnels obviously closed in 2009, but they're in remarkable condition. And I'm not sure of any other disused tunnels that's in the country that have closed as recent as these two. And if you do know of any, please do leave a comment. Nice looking refuge. There's a lot of change in the brickwork up here. You can see some calcite just coming through at the top. And I guess on wetter days this could look a lot more picturesque. Got another track fastener there, I believe it is, or some kind of chain for the track. Now you've got a load of relics that are pushed into this refuge. Don't know what that is. Got like a chain there by the looks of it, and a lot of the track fasteners, I believe they are. Well, I'm not sure what this thing is here. It's actually made out of metal. Is it yes, metal. Got some ribs on there. I'm not sure what they are, but yeah, there's a lot of relics you can see just around. I'm not sure if there's some sort of cabling system, or you can see all this plastic work. These plugs. There's actually Yale on it, so I'm not sure if these were actually part of the railway. Got another refuge to the left here, and someone's been comfortable. We have found some sort of railway relic. Unsure what that is. Please do comment if you do know. And found another bolt pin. There's our last refuge, refuge 26. And this is the northeastern end of the tunnel. And there's our curve, looking back to where we just explored both tunnels. Now there's a look at the northern portal, on the northeastern end. Now, it would have been separate by cutting it heading towards Clegg Street station. It's got the date up there. I'll just zoom it in. 1847 it says. Now, just beyond here we've got the site of Central Station, which we'll have a look at in a second. So that was both the Werneth and the Central Tunnel. So obviously we're now in the cutting, but we're not going to see much. But we are approaching the site of what was once the Central Station. So let's navigate through all this, see what we'll come across when we get to the site. Now, this station was actually built in 1847 as part of the Yorkshire and Lancashire Railways extension of the Oldham branch. And it was actually adjacent to another railway station known as Clegg Street, so I believe that they were actually almost back to back if you have a look on the maps. Now there is a footbridge coming up where I believe we're going to be pinpointing some of the remains of what was the station. So we're just heading out of the cutting between the central tunnel. Now, there is a lot of ballast. Now, we are looking at what was potential remains of the platforms, or where the platform started. I'm not sure if this was just retaining wall or something. Is it part of the station building or something? Got a bolt pin just hiding just behind here. So Google Maps is telling me that I'm actually almost on the spot of the stations, or the station, and there is a footbridge just coming up just over here, like you can see in the distance. And this is where our central railway station would have been located, with Clegg Street just being on the other side, I believe. And look at this old red brick bridge just off Wellington Street. A bit of water ingress dripping down the side of that bridge. Now, I have found what does remain of what was some of the station platforms. You can see the red brick just hiding in the corner. Now, there's not much of it that you can see, but I do know that the platforms here, you can see how the ground does actually raise slightly, but the vegetation is obviously grown over. Now, there is a photograph taken of this station, because the bridge that you can see in the distance, the red bridge, shows the two station buildings that were on either side, and you would have had two canopies that would have just been on either side. Now, if it wasn't for the vegetation, I'll be able to show you a little bit more. But obviously I won't be coming back here, because obviously I want to make the focus on the tunnel. Now, the station was built on the 1st of November 1847, and it lasted until April the 18th in 1966, obviously closing completely to rail traffic. Obviously the line did continue up until 2009, before the new link bypassing this section of the line reopened in 2012. In 1847, the branch was extended by constructing the two tunnels and the cutting to join with another station, which was the central station. Then it connected with Oldham Mumps, opening on the 1st of November of the same year. We're now walking to the site of the Oldham Mumps station that closed back in 2009 with the line to make way for the current Metrolink between North Manchester via Oldham towards Rochdale. If we cut back to Rail Map Online, you can see the lighter green that heads up the old track bed. This is the current Manchester Metrolink towards Rochdale, which covers some of the old track of the Oldham Loop. You can see here where the line is diverted away from where the tunnels are, where we've just explored. Reconnecting here, just beyond the site of the former Oldham Mumps station. Now, this is the site of the former Oldham Mumps station. This would have been the old car park. I believe entry would have been down there somewhere. But this is the section of the line that closed back in 2009, before the current tramway system, which I believe was over there, now bypasses the former loop that would have headed through across the Oldham Way. Now look down there at the site of the former Oldham Mumps station, just behind where that cutting is, and that was the track bed that went down towards the tunnels that we've explored. And a clearer shot of where the railway line would have headed across there, where you can see the route up to Rochdale. You can actually see the rails in the ground where the original alignment came in from Oldham Mumps station, and across here you can see the route continuing just over there.
Remodified between 2012 and 2014, the Oldham and Rochdale line, now the light tramway, part of the Manchester Metrolink between northern Manchester via Oldham towards Rochdale. The route now uses most of the former Oldham Loop, which closed back in 2009. Opening in stages from 2012 via Manchester Victoria towards Oldham Mumps on December the 16th 2012 from Oldham Mumps to Shaw and Crompton, and on 28th of February 2013 the route opened between Shaw and Crompton towards Rochdale railway station. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe if you like disused railway and disused tunnel videos. Take care and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.